Tonight we're looking at one of the fastest growing social problems in Britain, binge drinking amongst teenage girls. British girls are now second in the European Binge Drinking League and are overtaking the boys.
I think I drink because we get bored a lot, and if everyone else is drinking, you kind of feel like you have to, because otherwise you're like the odd one out.
Violent crimes committed by girls and women have doubled in 5 years, and binge drinking girls are stretching the emergency services to breaking point. Cherry Healey spent a night on one of the London ambulance service's so-called booze buses to look at some of the consequences of binge drinking.
I am catching a bus, the Booze Bus, as nicknamed by the London Ambulance Service. It's a specially adapted vehicle to cope with the weekend's drunks.
People start rolling out of pubs to go to clubs. That's when we start hitting most of our calls. 90% of them are female.
I drink a lot.
Have you eaten today?
Enough for the dinner.
Watch where you're standing, sweetheart. Don't stand in your vomit.
We usually find them in the street, they're covered in vomit, they've wet themselves, just lose all their self-respect. They don't seem to care, they have no remorse. We take them into hospital, they're usually quite abusive.
Big push.
Good girl, good girl. Yeah, half a bottle of blend vodka and 2 glasses of wine.
Right.
She's 17. And Mum.
You want your mum? This is a normal night for us. Mainly females, mainly quite young, had too much to drink. And the usual line from them is, my drink's been spiked.
3 in the morning and it just keeps on coming.
People go on about drugs and the horrors of things like heroin and that. I just think alcohol's a far bigger problem than any of them.
Alcohol costs the NHS a whopping £2.7 billion a year. The cost of a call-out alone is about £650.
Everybody's gonna run sometime. Everybody's gotta run sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
I'm not going to be speeding or anything.
That was absolutely horrific. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Apparently she had 8 glasses of white wine and 3 sambucas. There's no doubt that this is the ugliest face of booze.
So how do you think a sociologist might explain this? For example, what ideas from sociology could help us understand the way binge drinking is presented in the film and in the media generally? Second, what about binge drinking itself? Do you think the behaviour we saw in the film was deviant? If so, why? And if not, why not? Third, why do you think drinking appears to be increasing so much amongst girls? So much so they're catching up with the boys. Are there any ideas or theories from sociology that might help to explain this? And finally, what about explaining the rise in binge drinking generally? For example, how do you think interactionist, Marxist and feminist theories might be applied to this issue?